So it's been a while since I posted about my experience with our Bolt EUV. Now at 8,500 miles, had picked it up in October of 22. Overall, still very happy with the car. It does everything we need it to do. Really no big complaints. I mean, the biggest complaint that any Bolt owner has is that it doesn't charge fast enough on the DC fast charger. Uh, with that said, I did want to offer some thoughts and comparisons on the EUV versus the Model Y. We did pick this up in March when Tesla did reduce the price and it qualified for the tax rebate. And there was definitely pros and cons to each of these vehicles. This one is the Model Y long range. It does have the Gemini wheels, which we did change out the hubcaps on because I didn't care for the look of them, and there's better ones like these that will cover the rim entirely. Obviously, one of the pros of the Model Y is that it does charge faster on a DC fast charger, which is great. Overall, obviously it's faster, in all-wheel drive, but again, there's a marked price differential between the two. The couple things that, I would change on the Model Y if I had my way is just little things that Tesla had done. Here we had put these aftermarket rubber pieces in to cover the carpeting, which comes all the way down, which tends to pick up dirt. There's a couple little different things down here where we put these plastic covers on because this is carpeted as well, which again will pick up dirt if left uncovered, and a pain to to get out when you're going to clean the car. And same thing, up this plastic comes up along the side here, which again it covers as it should. Other things we added, I did add the 3D Max Spider floor mats, just like in the Bolt, which I think are great floor mats. In terms of autopilot versus Super Cruise, obviously this autopilot will work almost anywhere, but it is not as hands-free as Super Cruise is. Like, it truly can be hands-free on the Bolt when you're driving along. In terms of storage space, Model Y has quite a bit more storage space. Don't mind all the stuff that we have in here currently. It's quite a bit. Again, these mats were aftermarket. I picked those up just to kind of protect back here because, again, we haul a lot of stuff. The trunk space underneath is quite a bit larger and is useful. Some people will put coolers and other random stuff down here. The only complaint I have with this tailgate, or hatch I guess, because it's a hatchback, is it rises quite a bit higher than the car, and that's not all the way up. We down adjusted ours because it was tending to hit the garage, and unless you have like a I don't know, a 9 or 10 foot garage, it's probably gonna hit. And ours did do that a couple times. I got touch-up paint I'm gonna fix this with, but just a little annoyance versus your typical SUV, which the hatch typically does not hit the garage. Which, in the Bolt, I have never had that happen to me. It is again more of an SUV style hatch, and when it's open, it's higher, but not so high that it's going to hit anything. And just as a size comparison, I mean, this is all random stuff I have in here, and it is what it is. It's plenty useful for me in how I drive. So, for the $20,000, which one would I take? Which one do I like? Depends on the use case. For everyday driving and you're just running errands, I like the Bolt. It's easy to park, easy to get in and out of. It's very familiar for anyone to a regular car. With that said, on a road trip, I would take the Model Y. It's bigger, it's more comfortable, uh, and the fast charging is infinitely, it's about 5 times faster actually when you look at the numbers. And it's just, you know, a better car overall, but again, it's a different price category. And I will say, yesterday we had the tires rotated because we got 5,300 miles on this car already. The brakes on this thing are absolutely massive. I can't imagine what the cost will be to replace them when that comes due, you know, after 100 or some odd thousand miles, or whenever the brakes actually give up the ghost, versus what's on the Bolt, which are probably half the size of what's on the Model Y. But again, the Model Y is, 4,600 pounds, where the Bolt is, 3,600 pounds. In terms of like uh, things that the Bolt has, at least in this trim level, that the Model Y does not. It does have the front ventilated seats, which are nice. They're a nice bonus feature for sure. An opening sunroof is nice, and a shade that will automatically close. The glass roof on these Model Ys is heavily tinted, but there is no shade. They do have aftermarket ones that will spring in and out. But again, that's just a consideration for those that live in the South. I mean, up here in New York, it's not so much a consideration because the sun doesn't just get that hot. I guess things that I do like, the other things I like about the Model Y, the stereo in here is top notch. I mean, it's probably the best one I've heard out there. And even compared to the Bose, it's in the EUV. This premium system in here is quite a bit better. I will say the Model Y does handles well. Handles, I guess, most like a 5 Series BMW if you're looking as a comparison. So it's a little stiffer than, say, like a Mercedes or a Camry or a Lexus. And I can't imagine what this is like in the performance version because it gets bigger tires with a stiffer suspension. This is plenty for us and plenty quick. I mean, 5 seconds is plenty quick in any car. And the Bolt at 6.5 or whatever it is not a slouch either. But it's pros and cons. But just wanted to share an update on both. I mean, if anyone has any questions or thoughts on any specific comparisons between the two, happy to add my thoughts or comments if you've got them. And I will talk to you later. Thanks.